Sonic, Shadow, Lavinia, and Katarina witnessed the destruction of the Cat Kingdom's castle. It was bittersweet for the Cat Twins because it was their home where they grew up, but it was for the best since it contained the hard times for not only for themselves, but also for the kingdom's citizens, whom had either died of starvation or fled in secrecy. Now Sonic and Shadow realized that they were ready to lose their super state given by the second. They flew down to the ground while carrying both sisters in the arms. Sonic's golden yellow fur changed back to blue, and his eyes turned back into green, whereas Shadow's lemon yellow fur was changed back into black. "We did it," Sonic said. They gathered around the group for a big hug and they jumped all around with glee. During that time, Katarina saw Shadow happy for the first time. She giggled at the look. The ultimate lifeform looked at her after hearing her giggle, but she didn't care. Since he did not want to make a fuss, Shadow decided to not take note of it. "Oh, hey guys!" A high-pitched voice suddenly was called. They all turned to see Boken and Lucy running towards them. "Don't forget about us," Boken called. Lavinia ran up to the both of them and gave him a hug. "I'm so happy that you're all right," she said to Boken, and Lucy hugged the cat tightly in return. As soon as she broke away, Katarina ran to her biological mother and hugged her. "Mom!" she cried. Lucy hugged her youngest twin daughter and said, "My dear Katarina, you and your sister have grown up so much." She wrapped her arms around her daughters, giving them both a heartwarming hug. "I'm so proud of you girls," Lucy said. She then looked at the two hedgehogs and smiled at them. "Thank you, Sonic and Shadow, for protecting my daughters." "That's no problem, Lucy," Sonic said, chuckling. "It's an honor, Your Majesty," Shadow said, bowing his head and folding his arms. "Ahem," Boken said, pretending to cough, but Lucy took notice of the robot and patted him on the head. "Thank you, Boken, for being there with them," she said. "Ah, shucks," Boken said, giggling and blushing. "It was nothing." "Sonic!" a voice called. It was Amy. Everyone turned to see their friends running towards them. Of course, Amy ran faster and gave Sonic a loving hug. "Hey, Amy!" Sonic greeted, hugging his girlfriend in return. "Thank goodness you're okay," Amy said. The blue hedgehog's best friend. The Tails ran towards him and gave him a high five. "You did great, Sonic," he said. "Well, thanks, Tails," Sonic said. "I'm so happy you're okay." The best of friends shared a brotherly hug. "Lavinia," Katarina called. "Knuckles," Lavinia cried. The Echna and the cat shared a hug and long-lived passionate kiss. "You did great, sweetie," Knuckles said. "Oh, thanks, hon," Lavinia said. Every one of their friends joined in the congrats. "All right," Rotar said. "Well done, you guys," Sally said. "That's what I call a rodeo sugar," Bunny cheered. "Yee-haw!" Shadow saw his girlfriend Rouge the Bat flying towards him. "Nice job, Shadow," Rouge said. "Oh, thanks, Rouge," Shadow said. They both shared a romantic hug. "I'm so happy that you and Omega are okay," the ultimate lifeform said. The E123 Omega walked up towards the lovebirds and hugged them both. "Group hug success," he announced. Katarina and Boken watched as their friends sharing their victory and gratitude, when suddenly they heard someone calling their names. "Katarina! Boken!" It was Charmy who flew down towards his robot friend and gave him a hug. "Hey, Charmy!" Boken greeted. Vector the crocodile and Espio the chameleon managed to catch up to the bee to congratulate both the cat and robot. "You guys did great tonight," Victor said. "Oh, thanks, Victor," Boken said. "It was pretty scary, though." "Thank you, Vector," Katarina said, shaking the crocodile's hand, but then she saw Espio, and she stuttered with all the while trying to find the words to say. "Espio," Katarina began. "I don't know how to say this, but The chameleon placed his finger over her lips to get her to stop talking. Then he smiled and said, "It's okay. I understand." Feeling rather relieved, Katarina hugged Espio with happiness in her eyes. "I love you, Katarina," Espio said. "I love you too, Espo," Katarina said. Then they shared a kiss. Charmy and Boken turned their heads and stuck out of their tongues in disgust. "Ew, gross," they both said in illusion. "Oh, come on, boys," Victor explained. "There's nothing wrong with kissing your loved one. Isn't that right, Vanilla?" "That's right, my handsome crocodile," Vanilla said in agreement. It was then the crocodile and the rabbit shared a kiss, grossing the bee and the robot out even more. "How romantic," Cream said. "Sissy stuff," Maureen muttered under her breath. "Yuck." Suddenly, someone came out of the pile of rubble and stone. It was none other than Dr. Eggman. When everyone found their archenemy managed to survive the castle collapse, they stared at him angrily. It looks like your crutacular kingdom of yours of Empire has come down on you, Eggman, Sonic stated. And you have just lost one of your minions, Doctor, Clove said, folding her arms. You tell him, Clove, Cassia joined in. And as for the rest, Katarina added, let's just say that they have left and may not come back for a very long time, Lavinia explained. The doctor growled loudly as if he were about to lose his temper, only to calm down and sign defeat. Okay, he said, you and your friends may have won this time, Sonic. He then took out his remote and said, but I'll be back. Eggman pushed one of the buttons that made an Eggmobile rise from the rubble pile. He walked up towards his vehicle and called out his robot minions. Come on, Orbot and Cubot, Eggman called. We're going home. Goodbye, everyone, Orbot said, waving goodbye. See ya, you guys. Next time, boss. It's a scheme, of course, Cubot said. See you later, Lavinia. Oh, shut up, Cubot, Eggman exclaimed, aimed in disgust, smacking his robot in the back of the head in the instant. The Eggmobile rose up from the ground and headed for south towards Eggman's base. Right when Eggman and his robotic lackeys left, the light shined once again, summoning Taika and Chaos. Well done, everyone, Taika said. Chaos and I have came here to graduate you all for the dedication and hard work on defeating Eggman again. She then turned to see Lavinia and Katarina and motioned them to come closer. They did as what they were told when Taika took out her hand, allowing the twins to shake it. Suddenly their necklaces began to glow, much to their surprise. Lavinia, Katarina, Taika explained, your necklaces were passed down from generation to generation. You were meant to protect those from harm and evil. When your mother was about your age, she went to the Mystic Ruins Temple and asked me and Chaos for the advice of ridding your uncle, King Athan. She asked because he wished to marry her for the riches and the kingdom against her will. That necklace you were wearing, Lavinia, that was your mother's. Where is your necklace, Katarina? Was one was created that would contain the same power as your sister has. Your necklace, Lavinia, was meant to seal the people from your family who have treated you very badly and manipulated you. And your necklace, Katarina, was meant to seal the people that you have came across that bullied and hurt you. Because your necklaces have sealed the people of your past, of your ancestors, by timing the erasing such as Dark Events that was right, you have all used your arrows of hope to release the dark past from existence with their light. In other words, you have put so many of the past before you, as well as your own, behind the both of you. Lavinia and Katarina were very surprised by this revelation. They nodded their heads on understanding, and their necklaces dimmed as they released their hands from the orange Ekna's hand. What would you girls like to do? Taika asked. Would you wish to carry on your loyal status as princesses, or continue your lives of freedom? The two sisters looked at each other, but before they come up with the answer, as much as they wanted to join their lives outside of the royal status, it would be right to continue to do so without hurting their mother's feelings, since she was the queen in life. They turned to look at the Cat Queen for her approval. Is that okay, Mom? Katarina asked. May we, Mother? Lavinia asked. Lucy smiled at her daughters and said, I think it's wonderful. The both of you have the right to live for freedom, and it would be against my morals if I were to take it away from you. Hearing that from her mother had to say, the cat twins smiled and bowed their heads. Thank you, Mother, Lavinia said. Thanks, Mom, Katarina said. They turned back to look at Taika and giving her their final answers. I think I would like to continue my life as freedom, since I've already put my past as a princess behind me, Lavinia answered. I'm with Lavinia, Katarina answered. Besides, I kept myself busy with all these years. She pointed the Chaotrix who had been waved at Taika, all except Espo, who quietly placed 2 fingers in front of his face. That was a wise choice, you two, Taika said with a smile. Thank you, Taika, the twins said in illusion, before stepping back to the rest of the group. The orange Echna then turned to look at the black hedgehog. Shadow, she said, would you come closer? He walked over closer to her and with confusion in his eyes. Yes, Taika? He asked. Do you remember your old friend Maria? Taika asked, and even though he felt that he could shed a tear by given any moment, Shadow kept it together and said, Yes, I miss her very much. She was like a sister to me. Well, Taika said, how would you feel if she was here? She was like, well, today. The ultimate life form wasn't sure what she meant. I don't understand, he said. What do you mean? Well, I mean, how would you feel if she were alive and changed into a hedgehog, Taika explained. Oh, Shadow said. It was then Tekka and Chaos used their powers to summon the blonde hedgehog, wearing a blue headband and a skirt. Wearing a dark blue skirt and blue shorts. The light slowly dimmed and she opened her eyes, revealing the blue, beautiful eyes. Shadow saw the hedgehog as if she must have seen her before. Maria? He asked. Is that you? Yes, Yes, Shadow. She said, It's me. Maria, it's been so long. It has, Shadow agreed. Without saying another word, he ran up to Maria and hugged her. As she returned the hug to her brother, who began silently sobbing on her shoulder. Shadow? Maria asked. Are you okay? Hearing what her sister just said, he quickly wiped his tears away and smiled. Yeah, Shadow answered. I'm just so happy to see you again. I'm happy to see you too, Shadow, Maria said. Soon they broke away and looked at Taka. Thank you so much, Taka, Shadow said with a smile. It's our pleasure, Shadow, Taka said, bowing her head along with Chaos. She then turned to look at Lucy the cat, who was walking towards her and her mutual friend. Lucy, Taka asked, are you ready to go? I am, Lucy answered, but I have something to say to everyone, including my daughters. Take your time, Your Majesty, Taka said. The Cat Queen then looked at her daughters and friends. I want to thank you all for not only stopping my husband and Dr. Eggman from taking over the kingdom, but also being there for my family, she said. I wish for you all to continue helping each other and being their second family. She motioned for her daughters to come closer to her. They did as they were told. Lucy and then smiled at them and said, You girls have been grown to be happy, caring, beautiful girls. I could never ask for a better daughters than you. She then turned to Katarina and placed her hand on her shoulder. Katarina, you continue to work for the Chaotix and give them as much happiness as you can give them, Lucy said. Katarina then nodded her head before saying, Will do, Mom. I love you. I love you too, dear, Lucy said. They all shared a mother-daughter loving hug before Lucy turned to Lavinia. Lavinia, my dear, she said, I want you to continue being a wonderful friend to Sonic and his team. Personally, I think you've become a freedom fighter yourself. Okay, Mother, Lavinia said. She felt a tear forming in one of her eyes and wiped it away. Mother, Lavinia said, sniffling, as much as I'm sad to see you go, I'm happy that you could finally rest in peace. So am I, Lucy said. She then hugged her eldest daughter and said, I love you, sweetie. I love you too, Mother, Lavinia said. Right when they broke away, she began to shed even more tears from her eyes. I'm going to miss you, Mother, Lavinia whimpered. Her voice was trembling with sadness. Lavinia, you do understand that I'm never gone in the spirit world, right? Lucy asked. Her daughter nodded her head and then understood what she said. I'll be with Taka and Chaos watching over you and your sister and your friends every day from the Master Emerald in the sky, Lucy explained. Lavinia then nodded her head and said, All right, I'll never forget you, Mother. Her mother gave her daughters a kiss on the forehead, making a kiss goodbye. Lucy then walked over towards Taka and Chaos and said, All right, Taka, I'm ready. Very well, Taka said. It's time to go. They grouped together and lightened began to grow brighter. During that time, the trio said their farewells to the heroes, as the heroes themselves waved goodbye. Thank you, Taka, Maria called, waving goodbye to the Echna. You're welcome, Maria, Taka said. I'll let your grandfather know that you're with Shadow and his friends. Farewell. The light was so bright that Taka, the Echna, Chaos, and Lucy, the Cat Queen, disappeared from the light, dimmed within a matter of seconds. Once it all became dark, Lavinia lowered her head and began to close her eyes. Sonic walked up to his sister, his foster sister, to check on her. Lavinia, he asked, are you okay? She then looked at that blue hedgehog and nodded her head and said, Yeah, I'll be okay. Besides, I got my family right here. She then looked at Sonic and shared a sibling hug. Well, what are we waiting for? Big asked. Time for a group hug. No sooner than the purple cat said so, everyone gathered around for a group hug. Everyone is in on this, Tango said, encouraging everyone to come closer. Come on! They all shared a group hug for a minute or two before broke away for some air. What do you think you guys should do? Tails asked. But before anyone could come up with a suggestion, Katarina looked down and saw some dust from the Cat Queen's crown. Hey, look, she said. Is that Katarina? What? Antonia asked. This must be the remains of my mom's crown, Katarina said, picking up the dust from the ground. This was the exact same crown Mother wore at her wedding, Lavinia said, recalling the Cat King and the Cat Queen's wedding picture. It seems that it went up to the rest of the kingdom, Silver guessed, upon realizing it. Everyone began to feel sorry for the former princess. "Oh no," Cream said sadly. "I'm sorry, girls," Vanilla apologized. "Not everything lasts forever, except jewels," Rouge explained. They all looked at Rouge as if she said something wrong. "Oh, you're just talking about the crown," the bat said. "Sorry about that." No, it's okay," Katarina explained. "Rouge is right. Nothing lasts forever. Not even something we hold dearly," Lavinia added. "Like a throne or this crown." "Well, what are you going to do with them, girls?" Blaze asked. The cat twins looked at each other before looking back at their friends. "I think we're going to let this crown be free for our mother to wear," Lavinia answered. Katarina gave her twin sister half of the dust as they walked towards the cliff where they saw an ocean. "You ready, little sis?" Lavinia asked. "Ready, big sis," Katarina replied. "Long live the cat queen," the twins said in allusion. They tossed the dust, and that was once their mother's crown, into the ocean, setting it free to give their mother a wedding crown from the afterlife. They both looked at each other and stood in hand. Then they turned around to look at their friends, who smiled at them as they had done the right thing. "Hey Sonic," Lavinia suggested, "what do you say we grab ourselves a chili dog? Besides, I have a feeling we've earned it." "You bet, Beanie," Sonic agreed. "It's like you have read my mind." The blue hedgehog then looked at his group of friends and asked, "Anyone with us?" Without hesitation, everyone said yeah or yes in this case. Antony said that we. "Only if I'll be having a veggie dog." "If you say so, Sugar Tuan," Bunny said, giving her husband a kiss on the cheek. The twins then looked and smiled at each other. "For old time's sake?" Lavinia asked. "For old time's sake," Katarina answered. They began to run when Lavinia announced, "The last one to Station Square is a rotten egg in the shack." "Hey, that's my line," Sonic called. "In Station Square, their shack is my favorite fast food place." Without a warning, Sonic began to run after his sisters. "Nobody can run faster than you, man," Sonic's Tails stated. "I required a chocolate milkshake," Omega started. "Come on, Maria," Shadow said, taking his sister in hand in the process. "I'll introduce you to my friends once we get back to Station Square, and at the shack to get dinner." "Okay," Maria said. As everyone grabbed a little bite to eat after a long journey, they all laughed with excitement and relief. Once the heroes left and the illusion of Lucy the cat appeared over the moon, she was gifted by her wedding crown by her daughters after tossing its remains into the ocean. She then took off the regular queen's hat and placed it over her wedding crown on her head. She smiled. She waved farewell to everyone, wishing them a safe journey home to Station Square.